first started the school district, we had over 120 EMS calls for asthma within the school year, and 80 of them were being transported to the emergency room. So I talked to the superintendent and I asked him if there was, can I pursue something to try to eliminate this obstacle for some of our students.
Most school districts don't do that. And why we're successful in this area is because we have contributed resources and people and money toward an asthma education program throughout the school district.
We kind of created a partnership with the parent, the student, the school, and the physician, and letting that physician know what really is going on with that child's quality of life.
We have a plan in place to go address maybe why that student is having asthma difficulty.
Any environmental things that you do to improve the quality of the air within your campus buildings is going to help every child, not just the one with asthma. And so, I always try to explain to people that just like with diabetes, the environment is their diet. Well, with asthma, it's the air they breathe. And so the child doesn't have control over the air he breathes, but the school district does. And so the idea is, let's create an asthma-friendly environment where all our kids with asthma can thrive and reach their full academic potential.
Health Check is our online record system where we enter every student that comes in the door. We enter their symptoms. We are prompted specifically on asthma if they come in with any kind of asthma symptoms or dizziness, cough. There's different symptoms that will trigger it to ask for a specific room number. And so once that is entered, it's checked over at central office, and they keep tabs on, we're seeing an uptick in this number of students coming in with dizziness or coughing from this room number. And so they're very good about, if the nurses don't pick up on it right away. I've actually received calls from Diane saying, hey, what's going on over there? And it was actually the music room, what's going on in the music room. And it was several students coming from different grade levels, but they were all coming from the same room, and I hadn't picked up on it. And the music teacher had been spraying air freshener in between classes because the 5th grade, which was first in the morning, had done track practice, and they were very stinky. And so he was trying to get rid of some of the smell in between classes. And so the kids were coming in with asthma symptoms and coughing and wheezing, and I didn't pick up on it. But the program helped them in central office to take notice of it. So we were able to take care of it.
When we did the activity of breathing through a single straw and holding our nose, that to me was the most powerful activity for all of us to do. And we did that in a faculty meeting to feel what a child with asthma feels. And I think that's what caused everybody to stop with the griping of, we can't have stuffed animals, we can't have curtains, we can't have plants, we can't have air freshener.
Just because I've had asthmatics in my classroom, and I know that if I'm wearing a perfume and it triggers, then I know I can't wear that around. I had an asthmatic last year, and so it's like I mentioned being proactive in what you do as a teacher, and it affects your students.
Kids are in class more. It is amazing the correlation between kids with asthma and how it shows up as a potential difficulty in reading or a lack of performance on their benchmarks and common assessments. Kids have learned a lot about their own asthma. So we have recess plans, we have PE plans, we have air quality alert plans, and I think we take really good care of our kids with asthma, and the parent education piece as well.
He no longer has problems with his asthma. Miss Valencia, the school nurse, keeps on top of his medications and what he needs, and hey mom, he's out of medication, send him more. So the school's very aware, and I love the school nurse. I love that she's very involved with them.
I've had a whole host of kids who come in and their asthma's out of control. They're in the hospital time and time again, so they're not in school. They're not keeping up with their homework. They're falling behind academically. Plus, they're not being able to play basketball or any of these sports that they like. And so once we get them educated and they get on good controllers and we improve their adherence, we can figure out what they're allergic to, which in those kids a lot of times is everything. And we take steps to avoid those things. Their asthma gets better, and then they're in their class and they're in their seats, they're listening, they're learning, and they're paying attention. It's not uncommon for these kids to have to miss a whole grade of school and have to repeat the grade just because of their uncontrolled asthma. And once we get that controlled, then a lot of times they actually end up being great students, and they excel, and then they come in and they're actually playing sports, and then, they become student athletes. But there's only so much we can do in clinic. It takes an extension of us out in the schools and in the homes to really make this more impactful.
So I know the good side of asthma, but I also know the sad side because my dad died from asthma. And it was one of those things that I had approached him on taking a controller med, and he didn't quite understand the need to do that, and so he didn't take his controller med, and even though I'd given him a sample to take one, for whatever reason his doctor did not follow up on that and prescribe one. And then my dad died from an asthma attack, and after when I was cleaning out his closet, I found that controller med that was still in the box. And had he taken that controller med, he would not have died. And so I'm committed to make sure we don't have a kid in that kind of situation where they lose their life.
My name is Zaid. If I know my early warning signs, I can take action and stop an attack before it happens.
We're incredibly proud that our 3 schools, El Dorado, Larkspur, and Camelot, have received this gold designation. It's nice to see that the hard work and the dedication of this program, that the American Lung Association is recognizing the hard work and the efforts that the Northeast Independent School District.
When kids are not here because of their asthma and the symptoms related to it, then they can't learn. And of course our goal in school is to help kids achieve, and without them being here they're not going to. So all the more so to adopt an asthma program so that your attendance can improve, so that kids can learn, so that they can feel comfortable in the environment and they can be safe. I think that's the most important piece. Kids are safe.